You've been terribly rude, Miss Lounds. What's to be done about that?
Following on from a wonderfully balanced premiere episode, Will's mental state was beginning to fracture after he pulled the trigger on Garrett Jacob Hobbs. A lot of TV shows tend to leave loose ends or just move on completely from the story of the previous week. Well, not the case with Hannibal. The fallout from Will killing Hobbs is straining his already fragile mind, as he was directed towards Hannibal to aid him in his troubled time. It was very clear from the off that the dynamic between Hannibal and Will was going to be one of the main focuses for the show, and the light was cast firmly on the both of them this week as Will was cleared for official active duty. We were also introduced to none other than Tattle Crime's very own Freddy Lounds, whose gender swap of the character works really well actually. Lara Jean Korostecki brings out a very feisty side to the underhanded reporter. It's a much different interpretation of the character as she recklessly breaks whatever rules possible in order for her to get the right story. She lied on multiple accounts to the police and even to Zella as her crosshair was focused right on Will. She wanted to know more about this so-called special consultant, even going as far as to tape record his appointment with Hannibal. Hannibal saw through her tricks right away though, as this segment was easily my favourite from the week. Hannibal somehow manages to be both light and threatening with his words, and after issuing a clear warning to the tabloid reporter, the show cut straight to Hannibal and Jack having dinner. I couldn't help but laugh at this shift away, as to me at least it was obviously hinting that Freddy was the meal on the table. Sadly, that wasn't the case though, as her story is fated to continue for quite some time. And aside from the well-known character's appearance, Jack and the FBI were on the trail of a new killer this week after a number of bodies were discovered in a human garden. The killer was inducing comas, burying his victims alive and feeding them nutrients to prolong their lifespan. Eldon Stamets, the killer responsible, said that he did it so that they could connect with one another. And after he guns down the unfortunate police detective who gave the information to Freddy Lounds, she told Stamets everything that she knew about Will, and about Abigail. That of course prompted Eldon to head straight for the hospital, as in his mind, for Will to truly connect with the Hobbs girl, she must also be buried alive. Thankfully Will was fast enough to catch Stamets as he lingered with the idea of pulling the trigger again. He'd already took Eldon down with one very well placed bullet, but after admitting that he liked killing Garrett Jacob Hobbs to Hannibal, the good doctor weighed in with his feelings on the matter.
I like killing Hobbs.
Killing must feel good to God too. He does it all the time. And are we not created in his image?
My overall verdict for Hannibal's second episode is a solid 8 out of 10. Hannibal continues to impress. The beautiful horror established from the very beginning carries over to this week, as a new killer found a very disturbing way of killing off his victims. Visually, once again, the crime scene was brimming with a creepy amount of detail. The mushrooms growing on the corpses and the needle pumping fluids into them prove that in terms of violence, whether it's TV or not, this show is going all the way. All of these killers that Will is now helping to apprehend will no doubt continue to push the barriers of what his mind is able to take. But as long as Jack is happy that Will is going to see Hannibal, he can still get his beauty sleep and have Will as an essential asset. Well, that's as long as the media don't have any say on it. We already saw the distasteful article that Freddy published on Will. He didn't take too kindly to the Tattle Crime extract, nor would I, to be honest, so I imagine he hopes of continuing his work without having the hindrance of the reporters snooping about his business. But it does make for an interesting meet if Freddy does ever cross paths with her source for the stories. As I highlighted earlier, my favourite moment of the week came with Hannibal sussing out Freddy's intentions right from the off. Mads is just brilliant at displaying his inner thoughts with little subtle expressions, as you could tell by the look on his face that he had had enough of Freddy as soon as he knew it was her. Even with the tone of the show, it is still able to succeed in bringing in some humour and more light-hearted moments. Jokes and insinuations are used normally when eating dinner, that, when said by Hannibal, could have a different meaning entirely. Not many shows are able to seamlessly blend in some of these aspects, but here, it is a credit to the writers as it takes nothing away from the horror or its dark tone. As the dynamic between Hannibal and Will is once again a key focus, Will looks towards Hannibal in help to ease his mind. Unfortunately, I can't see that going too well, as the manipulative weaving of webs seems to have already begun. Hannibal answers Will's questions with the intention of influencing him, and if that continues for some time, the path leading towards Will's future could be destined for disaster. So what did you guys think about this week's Hannibal, and what did you think about the new look for the Freddy Lounds character? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you on the next one.
I was very thin as a youngster.
Well, next time, bring your wife. I'd love to have you both for dinner.
Thank you.